One of the things I liked about social psychology, I really loved social psychology when I was studying it as undergraduate. What I liked was they had some of the easiest, simplest experiments that were very poignant. Like I remember one experience where they were looking at social space, and they had you, the experiment was that you were supposed to move close to somebody in an elevator and see how they freaked out. I mean, I love those kind of simple experiences, simple experiments. Well, there was one that really made a lot of sense to me, but I didn't get to read it until graduate school. There was one that I just loved. What they did was these two psychologists flipped a coin. They just flipped a coin over and over, 1,000, 10,000 times. And they wrote whether it was heads or tails. How simple could it be? Really simple experiment. But what came out of it was that the research, flipping a coin, showed that you would expect it to come heads and then tails and then heads and then tails, maybe a couple heads and a couple tails. What they found was there were some times when it come up 21 times in tails. 21 times in a row. Or it would come up 32 times in heads. 32 times. Basically, random generation suggests that you're going to get streaks. And it's interesting, we knew this because every gambler in the world knows this. Hey, when I'm on a good streak, I do it. I went to the gambling school for the FBI. What I was doing, I was teaching down there. They couldn't pay me, so I ended up going to all the different schools that they had, sniper school and rappelling and all that kind of stuff. I went to gambling school. And they would say, when you're on a hot streak, go for it. But they didn't put any science behind it. They didn't put any science behind it. Because there are times when you're on a hot streak. And there are times when you're on a slow streak or a bad streak. Life is a random generator. Life is a random generator. The sooner you can get that through to people, the sooner they'll be able to deal with. You want to switch now?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. The sooner you can get them to deal with the idea that there's going to be really bad streaks at times. You're going to have some bad streaks. 21 times. 21 times of tails. 21 times in a row. That bad streak can last a year. Sometimes it can last 2 years. But life's a random generator. And if you survive the bad streaks, it'll turn good again for you. If you survive the bad streaks, because what they don't realize is that the positive streaks will come as well. Now, I think it's wonderful to talk about the positive streaks, but nobody remembers those. Because then things are going the way they're supposed to go. What you don't realize is a random generator. Life is a random generator. They're supposed to go good and they're supposed to go bad. People need to become very problem focused when you're in a bad streak. What can I do somehow to control the damage? What can I do to create damage control? Because I'm telling you, these bad streaks, and particularly with health, most of you have probably, particularly those of us who are older in this room, have known people who have gone through some really bad streaks with health. I mean, Rocky ended up with a car accident, and I mean, we were really worried about him. He was basically disabled. I mean, he was phenomenal. And sometimes you go through these bad streaks. Sometimes it'll be a year and a half. You'll go through this bad streak. And what's important is that you survive. That's what's the most important. Survive the bad streaks.